Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be learning how to solve equations with variables on both sides. We are going to be starting with a simple warm-up problem, just with one variable, but later on you will be learning how to solve equations with variables on both sides. Now for our warm-up problem, we're going to do 28 is equal to 4x. Now, in general, when we're solving equations with variables, what is our main goal? Well, our main goal is actually to isolate the variable. This means no coefficients, no numbers that you subtract or add to that variable. So, as you can see, I'm writing down isolate the variable, and I just want you guys to write this down if you don't have it written down already because it's a really important thing. Now, to solve this, what are we going to do? We need to do the opposite of multiplying because here we're multiplying 4 by x. Now, the opposite of multiplying is dividing. So as you can see here, we need to divide each side by 4 because remember, when we're solving equations, it must be balanced. Now here, 28 divided by 4, 7, and then the 4's cancel out, so that leaves us with x. So 7 equals to x, or x equals to 7. They're still equal. So that's the first practice problem. Now on to solving equations with variables on both sides. So we're going to go ahead and do this problem. 5x is equal to x plus 20. So as you can see, we do have x on both sides. So our main goal for these problems, well, it's actually just one extra step. You add that extra step to the main goal for what I said before. So the main goal here is actually to get the variable all on one side, because you can't solve the equation when you have the variable, the variables on both sides. It's just not gonna work. So in this specific problem, we're gonna subtract x from both sides because obviously equations need to be balanced. Now when you're subtracting x, you're actually subtracting 1x. There's just this hidden 1 we don't see. And when you're subtracting numbers like this, you're actually subtracting the coefficients, which is the number before the variable, not actually the variable. So, as you can see, 4x is equal to 20. And what did we do before? Well, we divide by 4. It's the same concept, just one little step that you have to do to get all the variables on one side. Now here we get x is equal to 5, which is correct. Now I just really want to put an emphasis on this, but the main goal is to get the variable on one side. So make sure you write this down somewhere so that you don't forget it. As you can see, I'm starring it because it's really, really important, and it's basically how we're going to solve all of these problems. Now we're going to do a practice problem, but it's a little bit different. So it's x is equal to 10x minus 27. Now here, what are we going to do? Because you can't really subtract x because then you're going to get 0 and then it's just not going to work. Well, in this case, we actually add 27 to both sides. Well, why? We want to give this little buddy a friend. That's how you can remember it. Well, if the variable is just by itself, you kind of want to give this buddy a friend. Just like we all want friends to hang out with us, correct? So after you give that buddy a friend or just add the number, you're going to get 27 plus x is equal to 10x. Now we can do exactly what we did before, subtract x from both sides. And as you can see with these problems, it's really all the same. It's just a little step that you have to remember to do. Now that is now the same as what we did even before. So it's just all a fundamental, it's just building on top of each other really. And I just wrote the invisible one, and if you need to write the invisible one, sure, go ahead, because no one can mark you off points because it technically is true. And then we're gonna divide by 9 by both sides, and you get 3 is equal to x, or x is equal to 3. So as you can see, you're just building off of those teeny tiny steps. Now there is actually this super handy trick to see if you actually got the problem right. Is to plug in your answer to the original equation because you got x is equal to 3. Now, theoretically, if you plug in what you got to each and every spot where x is, you should get the correct answer, or you should get like a true statement. And if you don't understand what I mean, just continue watching. So we're gonna go ahead and solve this. 27 plus 3, pretty self-explanatory, 30 is equal to 30 because 10 times 3 is equal to 30. Now, if this statement that you get from here is a true statement, meaning you're not getting 7 is equal to 5 because those are not equal, 7 is greater than 5, then you know your answer is correct because no other number can be in that place other than that number that you chose, if that makes sense. So the best way to know if you got the correct answer is to just plug it in. It's really simple, and you will ensure that you got the right answer. Now, let's do one problem all by yourselves. Now, this might seem a little scary at first, but I assure you, you'll do fine. I'll give you 20 seconds, but first let me write the problem down. It's going to be x is equal to 7x minus 42. Now, I chose a little bit of a harder one just to ensure that you guys actually get the fundamental lesson and how to do it. I'm giving you 20 seconds. Well, did you do it? Well, let's check. So first things first, we're going to add 42 to both sides, and we get 42 plus x is equal to 7x. Now, we're going to subtract x from both sides because we need the equation to be balanced, and we can't just subtract from one side, right? So we're subtracting x from both sides, and we get 6x. And here, I'm just actually going to draw the invisible one for you in case you just need that reference. And remember, we're subtracting the coefficients, which is the number before. Now we're going to divide each side by 6 as we did in the practice problem. 7 is equal to x, x is equal to 7, same thing. And let's go ahead and check our work. Now, the equation was x is equal to 7x minus 42. So 7, because we're plugging that into x, is equal to 7. Then you're going to multiply that by 7 because we're plugging in x minus 42. Now, 7 times 7 is 7 squared, which is 49. 47 is equal to 49 minus 42. 49 minus 42, we have to simplify even further, is 7, and 7 is equal to 7. Well, is this a true statement? I want you guys to tell me. Is it? Yeah, it is. So now we know that this is the correct answer. Well, congrats, you made it to the end of the video, and I hope you really learned something new today. Whether it's just you were struggling with this concept, you just wanted to get a couple of practice problems, or if you just wanted to review. I hope you learned something or you got some practice in, and I really hope you guys enjoyed, and it would mean the world to me if you subscribed and watched another one of my videos. And if you found this helpful, like it. If you didn't, dislike it. It just tells me if I need to change anything that I do. Now, and don't be afraid to leave a comment down below telling me what I can improve on. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!